What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 12 Ma. Chapter 203. How can you miss the pirate group delivered to your door? Open black lens bracket 3/6 for customization. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Crash. The warship sailed, pushed aside the seawater on both sides, set off bursts of weak waves, ripples spread in all directions, and the waves rolled. The warship drifted away, from the port coast of Marineford, from 100 meters, to 200 meters, 300 meters. After passing the gate of Marineford's inner port, the warship disappeared outside the gate. Finally, the warship turned into a tiny black spot, and gradually escaped into the endless sea area far away. Located on the deck of a warship, Layfon watched as Marineford turned into a small black dot and completely disappeared from his field of vision, so he slowly withdrew his gaze. Finally left. This is, for the first time, I went to sea alone to perform a mission. Have to say, for Layfon, this is a very new experience. As a Marine officer, he personally controls a warship, mobilizes hundreds of Marine soldiers and subordinates, and independently goes to sea to execute a Marine mission. Layfon Ensign, leave the rest of the voyage to us. You can go to rest. If there is any abnormal state, we will notify you immediately. A Marine sergeant named Shalong trotted to Layfon's side, opening his mouth full of respect and awe. Karen is the Marine with the highest rank in Layfon. In addition to Layfon's order, Karen's order is the highest among the hundreds of Marine soldiers. With Shalong as his deputy, Layfon doesn't have to do everything himself. He can be a hands-off shopkeeper and just step in at critical moments. For the voyage along this route, you don't need to ask yourself too much. Earth. Shalong is not only a sergeant, but also a very experienced navigator. Layfon was relieved that he was in charge of sailing. Okay, I'll leave these tedious things to you. If there is anything you can't handle, please let me know. Layfon nodded. Immediately, he returned to his room. This trip to Daughter Island is not too far away. Overall, for Layfon, this is more inclined to be a small training and journey for him. Let Layfon put aside the title of pure novice, and also get a certain qualification. This kind of task that doesn't require too much trouble, and the content is extremely simple and easy, is usually fought by these bigwigs at the Vice Admiral level. But it fell into the hands of Layfon. I have to feel. It is good to have an identity background. There is no need to follow the steps, someone will operate in the dark to make him rise to the top, and he will be sent to Rear Admiral. The first time you go to sea to perform a mission, you should always be more cautious. Not to mention, Empress Hancock, one of the Shichibukai, this is a troublesome fellow. Layfon returned to the room with many thoughts. The warship sailed at a constant speed all the way according to the destination of the trip. Under the command of Shalong, an excellent navigator, the warship avoided many sea areas with bad weather, spared a small circle and rushed to the daughter island Amazon Lily. Marineford, watching the departure of the warship. Garp looked away, at the top of the building. Beside him, Kizaru showed a wretched face as usual, and couldn't help asking, Vice Admiral Garp, don't you plan to send someone to follow up? If this brat really angered that Shichibukai, it will be troublesome. Women always can't judge by common sense. In particular, a powerful woman, a woman who suffered trauma in her childhood. This kind of woman has mastered powerful strength, so her temperament will naturally be very weird and difficult to fathom. Not sure. Layfon, this brat, really angered the other party. If you offend a woman, the other party will not care so much. A woman from Zhong, what happened today? Since the task is entrusted to him, it is natural to believe that he can complete it. This little thing can't be done, how can this kid be the grandson of the old man? Garp smiled confidently. Indeed, with this kid's strength, no matter how bad he is, he won't be instantly killed. In the sea area in the first half of the Grand Line, this kid's strength can almost sweep a large area. Why? As long as we don't encounter very few powerful beings, this kid will basically not be in too much danger. Kizaru nodded. If any Shichibukai really dares to attack this old man's grandson, I don't mind, let their daughter island feel the old man's anger. Advertisement. Do you really think that anyone can bully this old man's grandson? Say it. Garp left aggressively. Seeing the back of Garp leaving, Kizaru couldn't help laughing. What a stubborn old man. He was obviously worried in his heart, but he always acted like he didn't care on the outside. Empress Hancock, I hope you don't mistake yourself. Otherwise, you will be in great trouble. Kizaru's eyes flickered coldly. Anyway, Layfon, this brat, is also his disciple. When a disciple is in trouble, as a master, how can he stand by and watch? Although, this disciple was only taught by himself for a few days. But as the saying goes, a teacher for a day, a teacher for life. It was hard for me to find a rare disciple who can enter my Dharma eye. Empress Hancock, if you don't know what to say, I don't mind coming to Daughter Island. Admiral has come to Daughter Island. You know what that means. Instantly, a group of golden light flickered. Kizaru just disappeared in place. Boom boom boom. There was a sudden knock on the door. Layfon opened his eyes and frowned. Come in! Exclamation mark. As the door was pushed open, Karen, who was the deputy of the entire warship, walked into the room with a cautious and respectful expression. Is there anything? Layfon spoke directly. Layfon Ensign, we seem to be right ahead and saw a pirate ship. So I'm here to ask you, do you want to launch an attack on this pirate ship and sink it? Or, still carry out the mission to the daughter's island this time, and avoid complications? Karen asked anxiously. Pirate ship, do you know what kind of pirate group it is? Layfon wasn't surprised. In the endless ocean of the Grand Line, the most indispensable thing is pirates. Not long after leaving Marineford, he bumped into a pirate ship, which is quite normal. Just saw a skull flag with a white wolf's head. According to the judgment of my subordinates, this pirate group is most likely the White Wolf pirates that have been raging in the sea of the Grand Line in recent days. Karen thought for a moment, but his tone was not so accurate. Obviously, he can't be sure whether his judgment is true. It's just more likely. White Wolf pirates. Layfon narrowed his eyes slightly. Unfamiliar words. Myself. Never heard of. It shouldn't be a big pirate group. There is no such thing as a powerful pirate group in this world that they don't know. Therefore, after hearing these words from Shillong, Layfon's interest also weakened a lot. It's not a well-known pirate group, so it can't make him take it seriously. White Wolf pirates. What is their overall strength? Layfon asked again. Know yourself and the enemy, the team can win every battle. Going out to sea for the first time to perform a mission, Layfon didn't want to fall into a big fall because of his slack. Lax, careless. These are common faults of new Marines. It is also a fatal disease. This most common problem naturally does not appear on Layfon. Even if he learns that the so-called White Wolf pirates are just a group of small thieves, Layfon still won't really underestimate them. Advertisement. To despise the enemy is to be cruel to oneself. White Wolf Born, the captain of the White Wolf pirates, is a great pirate with a bounty close to 100 million berry. The exact bounty is 97 million berry. At the same time, he is also a zone demon fruit power. He can transform into a white wolf, and his strength is very strong. Moreover, his character is extremely cruel. Wherever he passes, no grass will grow in any village or town. He is a very murderous pirate. Whether men, women, young or old, in his hands, they will basically be unable to survive. He will kill them all in a cruel way. When mentioning the White Wolf Born, Karen's eyes were filled with seriousness. Although this pirate is not very strong, he is extremely cruel. It is also because of his cruelty that the bounty will reach 97 million berry. If not, with the strength of the White Wolf bone, it is absolutely impossible for his own bounty to reach this level. Plus, his hands were stained with the blood and lives of too many Marine colleagues, which made his bounty be cared for by Marine. Otherwise, with his strength, he would not be able to reach the bounty amount close to 100 million berry. The prestige of the White Wolf Born is also known for his cruelty, not for his absolute strength in the sea area of the Grand Line. His cunning, insidiousness, trickery. These regiments are the scariest places in White Wolf Born. As for his own strength, that's going to drop several notches. In short, his strength is far inferior to his cunning and insidiousness. Paused. After sorting out the many thoughts in his head, Shillong continued to introduce Layfon in a deep voice. Based on a preliminary conservative estimate, the number of irrelevant people who died at the hands of White Wolf Bone is no less than 2,000. 2,000 innocent lives were brutally killed by him. In addition, even some warships in our marine were attacked by him. At least 50 of our marine colleagues died at his hands. No less than 100 died in the sea because of him. All in all, this person acted arrogantly and unscrupulously. Many times, he will take the initiative to attack our marines' warships. But because he is as cunning as a wolf, he will only choose some weak warships to attack. If he encounters our Marine Vice Admiral's warship, he will lead his subordinates to flee and dare not act rashly. It is precisely because of this that he has been at large and has not been captured or even killed by our marine. In general, this is a very strong and cruel pirate. And this person is cunning, often escapes Marine's siege and capture operations. Be it has been causing a lot of trouble to Marine. Moreover, their hands were also stained with the blood and lives of many Marine colleagues. This kind of pirate is basically the highest priority for Marine to eradicate. Today, now that it happened by such a coincidence. With the justice in Shillong's heart, he really wanted to sink the opponent into the sea. A cruel and inhuman pirate like this doesn't even have the qualifications to live in this world. Now that we have encountered it, naturally, the other party must not be allowed to continue to do evil. 4.3. Of course, everything depends on Layfon itself. It is precisely because of this that even if Karen wants to attack the White Wolf pirates again, he must restrain his inner impulse and ask Layfon for his opinion. No matter what Karen thinks in his heart, he must get Layfon's order before he can attack the White Wolf pirates. Making decisions without authorization is the most taboo thing for a Marine subordinate. Serious cases can even be shot to death on the spot. The consequences and impact of a Marine subordinate who disobeyed the order are too serious. As a senior Marine, Jaron naturally would not make such a low-level mistake. Please Layfon Ensign decide. Excuse me, do you want to attack them? Karen bowed his head for instructions. Just when Layfon was about to speak. Tread. A rush of footsteps sounded from outside the door. I see. 2 Marine soldiers walked over anxiously. When they saw Layfon, their expressions became agitated, and they hurriedly said, Layfon Ensign, something is wrong. The pirate ship that is thousands of kilometers away from us, he has begun to actively approach us now, and the distance is getting closer and closer. The words fell. Layfon's eyes flashed. A playful smile appeared on his face. Turned. He looked at Karen in front of him, smiled strangely and said, it seems that I don't need to make a choice. They themselves have already made the choice for us. How can we miss the pirate group delivered to our door? Advertisement Chapter 204 Who said swordsmen can't fight from a distance? Open black lens bracket 4/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. What Layfon Ensign says is true. Jaron also nodded in deep agreement. At first, he still can't judge whether Layfon will order an attack on the pirate ship. To deal with this kind of cruel pirate group, of course Jaron wished to get rid of it as soon as possible. It's just that, as a little sergeant, he still can't influence the decision to interfere with Layfon. He didn't dare to point fingers in front of Layfon. Although Layfon is only ensign, Shalong certainly knows it in his heart. The strength of Layfon far surpasses that of ensign. Not everyone can imitate the feat of killing naval headquarters in seconds. Jaron knew. Ensign is just the place where Layfon stayed for a short time, far from the end, just the starting point. To treat Layfon, Shalong dared not treat other ordinary ensigns at all. Now when I hear that that pirate ship is actively trying to get close to their warship. Upon hearing this news, Karen's mood suddenly became particularly weird. Can't think of it. White Wolf Bone, the smart one, was confused for a while. Do you really think that all ordinary warships are weak? Such a pity. This time, the White Wolf Bone is about to fall. Layfon Ensign, although it is only an ensign, but its strength is infinitely close to that of Vice Admiral. With this strength, it is not easy to deal with the White Wolf Born. And this is obviously something that the White Wolf Born could never have dreamed of. He might have thought that this warship carried the ordinary marines he had encountered in the past. I didn't know if Layfon Ensign would take the initiative to deal with you. But you, it's ridiculous to take the initiative to deliver it to your door. It's really, fate is here, and it can't be stopped. Just like, God wants to take your life away, even if you have wings, you won't be able to fly, White Wolf Bone. Shalong, who has always hated a cruel person like White Wolf Bone, naturally wished that 14 could personally dismember him. Let the White Wolf Bone feel it too. Those innocent people who died at his hands were so desperate and miserable. Original. To deal with a cunning and insidious pirate like White Wolf Born, even if Vice Admiral dispatches it himself, it will be particularly troublesome and tricky. Why? Because of the caution and cunning of the White Wolf Born. Most of the Vice Admiral powerhouses can't find his haunts at all. Naturally, if you want to deal with the White Wolf Born, you have to think long-term. But Vice Admiral didn't have so much time, wasting this pirate with a bounty of less than 100 million berry. Furthermore, the strength of the White Wolf Born is not very good, and it is only an overkill for Vice Admiral to dispatch himself. This will put the White Wolf Bone in a very safe stage. Stronger than Vice Admiral, no time to waste on him. But those who are weaker than Vice Admiral find that they can't do anything to the White Wolf Bone. That's why. Born the White Wolf is the main reason why he has been able to get away with it all the time. It's better to be a man than to be a god. After all, White Wolf Born still didn't count. Today, he actually met Layfon. Also take the initiative to drive the pirate ship and try to approach the warship driven by Layfon. This move and behavior, in the eyes of Shalong, it's purely suicide. White Wolf Born, he is seeking his own death. This really proves that sentence. Heaven has a way, you don't go. There is no gate to hell, yet you cast yourself. Karen's smile was not deep. This executioner, someone can finally punish him. Over the years, the number of people who died at the hands of the White Wolf Born is no less than thousands. Among them, not Pan is Marine. Such a ferocious executioner finally ushered in his nemesis. Presumably, the guy White Wolf Bone doesn't know yet. In fact, he himself was dying. Insidious, cunning. As cautious as a wolf. Such a pity. These will be meaningless. Advertisement. The White Wolf Bone never imagined in his dreams, he is constantly probing wildly on his way to death. Trying to take the initiative to attack the warship controlled by Layfon Ensign. I really don't know how to write dead. Let's go out to the deck and have a look. Let me see this so-called White Wolf pirates. Look at where they got the courage and guts to try to take the initiative to attack us. Layfon smiled playfully. Taking a step forward, he left the room directly. Rear. Shalong and several marines followed closely behind. White Wolf Born, you really don't know what a terrifying existence you have provoked. Even, you may not understand. The strength of Layfon Ensign, who is only 7 years old, is terrifying. When you really see it, it's your time to die. Karen was emotional. The White Wolf Bone, who thought many marines were troubled, never imagined that it would be such a coincidence today that their entire warship was hit. The most ridiculous thing is, this guy, White Wolf Born, actually took the initiative to drive the pirate ship and tried to get close, as if he was going to attack the warship they were driving. Whenever thinking of this, Shalong couldn't help laughing inside. Who is it bad to provoke? Trying to mess with Layfon Ensign. 9 lives are not enough to kill, okay. Layfon Ensign, this is the existence that can instantly kill Naval Headquarters Rear Admiral. A pirate with a bounty of less than 100 million berry dares to provoke a fierce man like Layfon Ensign. It made Jaron wonder what should be appreciated. White Wolf Born is too daring. Or rather, White Wolf Bone, this guy is so stupid that he came here to die on his own initiative. Layfon walked all the way to the deck. At this time, hundreds of elite marines on the warship, each holding a long gun, have entered the state of preparation for battle. Their faces are full of vigilance and solemnity, they are meticulous, and they are full of energy. They were neatly lined up on the deck, staring earnestly at the pirate ship approaching at a constant speed in the sea area 1,000 meters away. Morale is like a rainbow. Ready. Every Marine, without any slack or carelessness, seemed extraordinarily serious, and stood in its own queue, motionless. Calm. Like a beast waiting for an opportunity. If there is a slight change, they will all attack and kill at the same time. Elite. After all, elite. When encountering pirates, Layfon does not need to order. They are already lined up and ready to attack at any time, without the need for too many orders and manipulations from Dian Feng. As long as Layfon gives the order, they will attack immediately. Seeing this group of Marines, Layfon's expression also showed a bit of admiration. The old man really didn't use some crooked melons and dates to fool me. From the formation displayed when facing the pirates, Layfon can make a preliminary judgment. Although this group of elites may not have experienced hundreds of battles, at least they have definitely fought against pirates no less than 10 times. It is impossible for them to show the current strict formation. For sure, every Marine present is the best of the best. Everyone is well trained and strong. From their eyes, Layfon could see that the fierce flames of war were hidden deep in the pupils of these Marines, and there was no trace of timidity. Instead, they are very aggressive. A warlike Marine is the real elite. Facing the enemy, if you feel timid, you can't talk about the word elite. Only by being good at fighting can we get better training and growth. This is the real elite. Although there are only 100 people, the most important thing is the quality. Not much in quantity but high in quality. Old man, I'm afraid you want to lend me the elite at the bottom of the box. Layfon thought suspiciously. Putting aside the many thoughts in his mind, Layfon turned and looked towards the endless sea thousands of meters away. Visible to the naked eye, a huge pirate ship is constantly approaching. With the sea breeze blowing, the skeleton flag floating in the air is extremely dazzling and protruding. The skull flag looks like a wolf. Can you confirm their identities? Advertisement. Layfon turned to look at Jaron. Subordinates can take the head as a guarantee. White Wolf Pirates, it's them, it's true. Shalong took a deep breath, with a serious and solemn expression on his face. As the pirate ship approached, he also saw more clearly the skeleton flag flying high above the pirate ship. It's the White Wolf Pirates. On this point, Shalong can guarantee it with his life. Don't be so serious. Layfon shook his head with a grin. Now that the identity of the other party has been determined, it will be easy to handle. In a word, just destroy it. Save too much time here. Of course, Layfon has not forgotten that his main task is to rush to the daughter island of Amazon Lily, to invite a Shichibukai to the holy land of Mariajoy, instead of getting too entangled with these pirates here. Naturally, Layfon would not choose to waste too much time here if things could be resolved as soon as possible. Just a small pirate group. Layfon didn't care at all. Just use this pirate group to warm up. Layfon Ensign, are you going to launch a sweeping sweep? Seeing the approaching pirate ship, Shalong was moved and couldn't help asking. No need. Layfon shook his head at 410, and walked towards the front of the deck step by step. Then, he slowly took out the samurai sword he was carrying around his waist. Sharp blade, flashing cold light. See here, rear. Shalong looked a little confused. What do you mean? Layfon Ensign, is this intended to use melee to deal with the opponent? But close combat, for them, is considered to be somewhat disadvantageous. Their number is only a few hundred people, and there are at least hundreds of pirates on the opposite side. Melee combat would obviously be somewhat unfavorable to them. Listen up, get ready to fight. After thinking a lot, Shalong didn't hesitate, he gritted his teeth and gave an order to a group of Marine elites beside him. As a subordinate, he naturally couldn't question Layfon's order. Who said that you are going to participate in the battle? Layfon glanced back at Karen oddly. Is not it? Karen's expression became more and more astonished. If you participate in the battle, you will delay and waste more meaningless time. So, leave it to me. Layfon was expressionless. Do you shoot alone? Karen's throat was dry. In this regard, he was obviously a little unexpected. But on second thought, considering that Layfon's terrifying strength is enough to easily kill the Rear Admiral in an instant, Shalong didn't dare to make any doubts in his heart. Right. Layfon was brief. Do you need to drive a warship close to them? Layfon had a meaningful smile on his face. A distance of 300 meters. He can't figure it out either. Who told you? Jaron couldn't understand. Jaron had this question deep in his heart. Same. Jaron noticed it too. Layfon Ensign, isn't Dao a swordsman? Shalong then asked with an anxious tone. Then how to fight? Layfon narrowed his eyes slightly, looking at the pirate ship about 300 or 400 meters away. What's going on? Right here, that's enough. Ask, how can a swordsman deal with the group of pirates in front of him at a distance of 300 or 400 meters? Close. There is no need for this. Their entire warship is at least 300 meters away from this pirate ship. Jian Hao, can't you fight remotely? Advertisement chapter 205 compared with a genius. It's purely looking for abuse. Open black lens bracket 5/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. In the words of Layfon, a swordsman who cannot fight from a distance is not a qualified swordsman. Who stipulates? Swordsmen must fight in close combat. The collision between blades must be considered as the way of fighting between swordsmen. There was never such a rule. An excellent swordsman, capable of both melee and far combat. Isn't this fundamental? The basic operation of an excellent and qualified swordsman. But here, there is a distance of 300 or 400 meters. Karen looked at Layfon in horror. What the hell? Layfon Ensign, do you want to use the blade in your hand to sink the pirate ship on the opposite side at a distance of 300 or 400 meters? Turned. Chalong looked at the sea area 300 to 400 meters away with a shocked face, and watched the pirate ship that was approaching, his expression full of surprise. So far away. What does Layfon Ensign do? Chalong's whole mind became a little confused. It's only 300 or 400 meters, not too far away. Exactly. I also really want to feel how much destructive power I can cause when I shoot with all my strength. Layfon narrowed his eyes slightly. He quietly watched the pirate ship hundreds of meters away. Very unfortunate. Yesterday's challenge at Marineford did not allow Layfon to fully enjoy himself, nor did he truly estimate where his current strength limit lies. Now, he finally found a chance to try. Just target these pirates. White Wolf pirates. That's it for you. Layfon had a smile on his face. The golden sun shone down from the edge of the sky, reflecting the samurai sword in Layfon's hand, the sharp silver blade, and the flickering cold light reflected a dazzling halo. Witnessing Layfon's actions, Karen in the rear didn't dare to say too much, and could only stare blankly at Layfon's back with a pair of shocked pupils. Layfon Ensign, can it work? Destroy a pirate ship with pure swordsmanship at a distance of 300 or 400 meters. Jaron felt that such behavior was simply unheard of. In particular, when I saw Layfon, who was only 7 years old, holding a samurai sword. The strong visual contrast made Chalong's heart beat slightly stagnant. Around, hundreds of elite Marines also noticed Layfon's actions one after another. Their serious expressions revealed a look of resignation and bewilderment. Layfon Ensign, it seems that we don't need to take action. Are you going to deal with this group of pirates alone? But now there is still a long distance of 300 or 400 meters. What should Layfon Ensign do to destroy this pirate ship? Everyone present was also in a state of bewilderment. They stared blankly at Layfon. A pair of eyes full of astonishment and shock, all gathered on Layfon. Hundreds of meters apart. How to destroy a ship. They concentrated their attention on the Thunderbird's movements. At the same time, a faint breath spread from Layfon's body. At first, this breath is like a thin river, flowing slowly. Advertisement. In an instant, the intensity of the breath rose steadily, becoming extremely powerful, like a raging ocean wave, with turbulent waves and endless mountains and rivers. The majestic and terrifying imposing coercion swept in all directions, enveloped the entire warship, and swept everyone present. Sharp. The monstrous edge is fully released with Layfon's body as the center point. Majestic. Surging. This terrifying coercion squeezed the bodies of everyone present. It made their bodies feel as if they were heavily suppressing the tens of thousands of caddies of boulders, their movements became extremely stiff and slow, and their bodies remained motionless in place. Okay, what a terrifying aura backquote. A Marine couldn't help blurting out with trembling lips. Terrible. Under the influence of this aura, he only felt that he was stuck in a puddle of mud, sinking deeper and deeper, and his body could not move at all. Not only him, including Chalong, and the rest of Marine, also deeply felt the same feeling. Their bodies all froze, under the pressure of Layfon's momentum. They can't even move. Every move that is easy to do on weekdays, but at this moment, it has become a difficult thing that they can't do at all with all their efforts. Is this the strength of Layfon Ensign? It's too strong. Chalong's throat was dry and he couldn't help swallowing. Originally, he didn't have a clear and accurate concept of the ability to instantly kill Rear Admiral. Until, when he felt, the terrifying aura released from Layfon at this moment. Jaron finally realized it deeply. How powerful and terrifying is the strength to kill Rear Admiral in seconds. Strong beyond imagination. This is the strength to instantly kill Rear Admiral. Layfon Ensign, what a terrifying monster. Karen watched Layfon's back in awe. This young back gives Chalong an endless sense of oppression, and makes Shanlong feel admiration and awe in his heart. At only 7 years old, he already possessed such an unbelievable level of strength. Looking at the sea, this is just one example. Only. Layfon Ensign, how do you kill people hundreds of meters apart? This question still troubled Poseidon in Shanlong's mind. He couldn't figure it out either. What kind of means will Layfon use to deal with these pirates? Killing people hundreds of meters away. How to do? This question is also something that Marine is puzzled by on the field. Next, Layfon took practical actions to clear up the confusion for Chalong and all the Marines present. I see. Layfon slowly raised the samurai sword in his hand, the blade shone coldly, and quickly began to condense a layer of black armor. Armament hockey. Layfon used the armed color. Visible to the naked eye. The black armor, in a liquid state, spread continuously from Layfon's right arm, and finally his eyes reached the samurai sword in his hand, slowly eroding the blade. The black armor is wrapped above the blade, entangled tightly within it, exuding a particularly eerie but fierce aura, giving people an indestructible sense of sight. The originally hard blade became even harder after being covered with this layer of black armor. Moreover, the spreading coldness made the surrounding air temperature seem to plummet a little. Coldness breeds. The air temperature plummeted. Thereby, let Chalong and all of them feel goosebumps all over their bodies. They are in this strange environment, and when the sea breeze blows, they feel the chills. Advertisement. This is armament hockey. Karen's pupils shrank, and he looked at the katana in Layfon's hand, which was covered with armor-colored armor. No doubt, this must be the armed color. A very terrible means of fighting. can attack and defend. This kind of fighting method is also something that Chalong has been looking forward to. With his many years of experience in Marineford, it is certainly impossible for him not to judge armament hockey. As soon as Layfon used his armed color, Chalong immediately made an accurate judgment. 7-year-old armament hockey master. Even though he had prepared for it, when he saw it up close and felt the aura emanating from Layfon, Jaron was still shocked. Armor color. He dreamed of means to control. But it was easily controlled by a child who was only 7 years old. This made Jaron couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Really, some people are born different. How hard is armament hockey to master? Jaron, of course, knows all about it. He has been exposed to the cultivation of armament hockey, but for many years, he still cannot reach the entrance through the cultivation of armament hockey. The difficulty is too high. Chalong has practiced for several years, but he is still helpless. This made him very helpless. Therefore, seeing that Layfon, who is only 7 years old, has mastered such a proficient armament hockey, Zhejiang couldn't help but feel emotional. Talent is so important. It took several years, but he couldn't get started with armed color. However, Layfon, who is only 7 years old in front of him, most likely spent less than a year cultivating armament hockey to this level. The strong contrast made Chalong almost suffocate. It's such a difficult armed color. When it comes to other people, it's as simple as eating and drinking water. It's not difficult at all. Jaron felt it. This world is deeply malicious towards him. There is really no comparison between people. I am, after all, just a mediocrity. Lee Nuos. Chalong smiled wryly, shaking his head and sighing inwardly. Why are you so crazy? How dare you compare yourself with a genius monster? It's crazy. But what to say, there is no such close contact and witness, and the shock caused to them is more intuitive and obvious. After throwing away all the thoughts in his head, Chalong looked at Layfon's back with more serious eyes. Apart from awe and admiration, his eyes also contained strong anticipation. Isn't this just looking for abuse? He slowly swung down the bar with the sharp black blade in his hand. This is true, and it caused a lot of psychological shock to them. He knows. Layfon, who has cast armament hockey, seems to be condensing the momentum spreading all over his body, becoming more majestic and surging, full of oppression. Then, at this time, when you see a child who is only 7 years old, but controls the high-end armament hockey. He looked at the pirate ship hundreds of meters away. Everyone cheered up and stared at Layfon intently. Layfon's eyes twinkled, a smile still on his face. Is this the legendary armament hockey? Layfon, it's serious at the moment. Even if I knew it earlier, Layfon, who is only 7 years old, is super powerful. Naturally, they all saw the colored armor in Layfon's hand. Advertisement Chapter 206 Marine Ensign, who is less than 10 years old, can you believe it? Open black lens bracket 6/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. At the same time, separated by hundreds of meters away from the sea. The pirate ship with the skull and skull flag floating on the sea surface, the pirate ship that was advancing at full speed, seemed to be aware of it, and slowly stopped the forward sailing route, and stopped motionless in the original sea area. This skull flag resembles a pattern of a white wolf. Reveal the identity of the entire pirate ship. White Wolf Pirates. Headed by the Captain White Wolf Bone and the pirates who offered a bounty of 97 million berry, they gathered more than 400 vicious pirates to form a large pirate group. Burn, kill, plunder, do all kinds of evil. This is the purpose of the establishment of the White Wolf Pirates. Whether it is the Captain White Wolf Born, or the rest of the crew, each has the same distinctive personality. Cruel, bloodthirsty. This is the character of the crew of the White Wolf Pirates. Therefore, few of the villages and towns that the White Wolf Pirates passed through survived. Almost 90% of them will be plundered by the White Wolf Pirates and kill all the villagers. It is precisely because of such cruel behavior that all members of the White Wolf Pirates are offering bounties steadily. If not, with the strength of the White Wolf Bone, it is not enough to make his bounty infinitely close to 100 million berry. Boss, are we not going to deal with these Marines? A group of pirates looked puzzled. It was so good, why did it suddenly stagnate? This warship is obviously not a warship carrying those powerhouses of the Vice Admiral level. For them, this kind of Marine is simply their best hunting target. But now, the pirate ship suddenly stopped, as if it was no longer moving forward. This caused many pirates to show their confusion. In the face of everyone's doubts. As the captain, White Wolf Born was on the fence at the front of the deck, looking at the warship with the seagull flag flying hundreds of meters away, with a playful smile on his face. Don't worry, let's 797 first test the strength of this group of Marines. Look at what class the strongest Marine in this warship will be in. After ensuring these, we will be able to launch a better attack. As rumored, White Wolf Born, cunning as a wolf. His character is very cautious. It is also this character that allowed Bone to escape Marine siege and arrest many times. So far, he can still get away with it and do evil in this sea. What the boss said is absolutely true. A group of pirates joined in. Although there are many people who think that Bone's move is just superfluous. But on the surface, of course they dare not express their different opinions in their hearts. Otherwise, Bone will not tolerate it, dare to have subordinates who go against his will. Generally, subordinates like this have long been buried in the belly of the Sea Kings by Bone. In the White Wolf Pirates, Bone's orders represent the will of the heavens, no one is allowed to refute or disobey, and can only obey absolutely. Boss, Something is wrong. At this time, a pirate held a telescope and spoke to Bourne beside him with a strange expression. What's wrong? Bourne frowned. That warship seems to be different from the warships we have encountered before. The tone of this person is very strange. Different. Bourne's expression changed slightly. He worries that things are not as he imagined. If there are really clues, he doesn't mind giving up the idea of attacking this warship. His character has always been very cautious. Because of this caution, he was able to live in this sea for such a long time. What's the difference? Bourne asked immediately. The difference in the number of people. Boss, the warships we have encountered in the past usually carried at least 300 to 500 Marines. But the warship we encountered in front of us seems to be fully loaded, with a maximum of more than 100 Marines. It's beyond my comprehension. When did the threshold for Marine become so low? Can a warship go out to sea with just over 100 Marines? The pirate expressed his inner doubts truthfully. Just over 100 people. Bourne was lost in thought. Advertisement. This is indeed different from the warships he has encountered before. Generally speaking, a warship will carry at least 300 to 500 Marines. Unless, encounter some very individual circumstances. And today, did they run into this situation? Is this a special warship? Let me see how different it is from the warships we have encountered in the past. With this in mind, Bourne took the telescope into his hand. Take a closer look. Bourne noticed the difference. This warship, Marine, has a pitifully small number of people. Also, the people leading this group of Marines seem to be an imp, a kid who can't be more than 10 years old at most. Am I wrong? Bourne's first reaction was that he had hallucinations. Then, he rubbed his eyes and continued to observe the warship hundreds of meters away. It looks exactly the same, nothing has changed. The person leading these hundreds of Marines is really a brat. A kid who will not be older than 10 years old, is actually the commander of this warship. What's going on? Bourne froze. He never dreamed that he would encounter such a strange phenomenon in the present. Marine officer less than 10 years old. Or the commander of this warship. What the hell? What's going on? The weird scene overturned Bourne's perception of Marine. Since when has Marine been such a joke? To actually appoint a brat as the commander of a warship. This is very unscientific. Boss, what did you see? A group of pirates asked questions one after another. Do you dare to believe that the commander of this warship is actually a kid less than 10 years old? I doubt it myself, I have hallucinations. Bourne told the truth with a dazed face. Then, everyone was stunned. What? Marine officer less than 10 years old? Is it possible? No way. Even though they had collided with Marine many times before, the entire White Wolf pirates, at this backup moment, fell into a strange atmosphere. The 400 or so pirates were all stunned. Their thinking also fell into a short circuit. Marine officer less than 10 years old. Even, can independently dispatch a warship before the age of 10. The current Marine is already such a joke. Or, the current Marine is so weak that even a kid under 10 years old needs to be dispatched. Countless thoughts flooded into the minds of all the pirates present. Let them be puzzled. What is happening? Wait a moment. I seem to have discovered an incredible thing. I don't know why, I always feel that this thing seems to be getting weirder and weirder. As the captain of the White Wolf pirates, White Wolf Bourne always feels that something is wrong. Through binoculars, he saw it clearly. The kid who was less than 10 years old was wearing a Justice Marine coat, and the badge on his shoulder revealed that the other party was at the official rank of Marine. Bourne, who has fought against Marine many times, can judge very accurately. The Marine status title represented by this badge is Ensign. Advertisement. Naval Headquarters Ensign. Quote question mark quote. Several question marks popped out of Bourne's head. He wondered if he was dreaming. Ensign. Marine Ensign. What's going on? A Naval Headquarters Ensign under the age of 10. What the hell are you playing with me? Still teasing me? I am the White Wolf Bourne. A great pirate with a bounty close to 100 million berry. You Marine, how dare you tease me? In front of my more than 400 subordinates, come to humiliate me, the majestic White Wolf Bourne. Under 10 years old, Naval Headquarters Ensign. And personally pilot a warship. As the commander of a warship. Marine, what the hell are you doing? Naval Headquarters, are you down to this point? Need a kid less than 10 years old to serve as Marine Ensign to help Marine maintain the scene. Bourne's eyes widened, his ferocious face was full of astonished expressions. Boss, what did you see? Under the puzzled eyes of many pirates. Bourne casually threw the telescope in his hand to a pirate beside him, his throat was dry, and he didn't know where to start for a moment. Could it be that he himself saw a Naval Headquarters Ensign less than 10 years old? It takes someone to believe it. Anyway, he has been in the sea for many years, and he has fought against Marine many times. But Bourne has never met a Naval Headquarters Ensign who was less than 10 years old. Not to mention, a Naval Headquarters Ensign, who was less than 10 years old, was also the commander of the warship, and he dispatched no fewer than 100 Marines under his command. All of this is too unbelievable. Let Bourne forget it for a short time. At first, he wanted to attack the warship. Naval Headquarters Ensign, who is less than 10 years old, can you believe it? Bourne finally spoke up. The words fell. The atmosphere here is a little weird. What? Marine Ensign under 10 years old? Did I hear wrong? Still, my boss was wrong. With such thoughts in mind, several pirates couldn't help but said, Boss, are you reading right? Don't ask me, see for yourself. The originally ferocious face of the white wolf bone was now full of astonishment. Immediately afterwards, several pirates quickly picked up the binoculars and observed the warship hundreds of meters away one after another. Less than half a minute later. What is this doing? They were also dumbfounded. The opponent is still the commander of this warship. They put away the binoculars in their hands one after another. Ever since. Very unscientific. Okay, Marine, do we need to use these brats who are less than 10 years old to support the scene now? It really is Marine Ensign who is less than 10 years old. It's the Naval Headquarters Ensign who is less than 10 years old. This is not in line with common sense. The entire pirate ship, more than 400 pirates, fell into a state of stupefaction. And, it's unbelievable, Marine actually let a kid who is less than 10 years old be the commander of the ensign and the warship. When did Marine become such a joke? This is not a joke, is it? They can't understand it at all. Advertisement Chapter 207. A shocking horror slash. Open black lens bracket 1/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Sharp. A monstrous edge emerged spontaneously from Layfon's body, like a surging tide, sweeping in all directions, covering the entire warship completely. Wave after wave of tide, like a surging ocean wave, manifested by momentum, spreads across the venue driven by the violent sea breeze. Layfon, holding a samurai sword, looks like a famous sword about to be unsheathed in his young body. The sharp edge makes it impossible to look directly at Layfon's back. Majestic. Surging. The violent momentum was fully released from Layfon's body. Under the impact and squeeze of this terrifying momentum, the surrounding space seemed to have faint traces of creeping. It looks particularly weird. The whole warship fell into a weird atmosphere. Pairs of awe-filled eyes gathered at Layfon's back. This young figure gave the 100 Marines an endless sense of oppression. Chalong, who was the Marine sergeant, was also covered by this aura and spread to his body, squeezing every cell in his body. On the shoulders, it seemed that there were tens of thousands of tons of stones weighing down heavily. The body becomes extremely stiff, dull, unable to move. You can only experience it deeply if you experience it closely. Layfon's momentum, the terrible sense of oppression brought about. And at this very moment, Karen and his hundreds of elite Marines felt the terrifying power in the young Layfon's body. Just the momentum, but enough to make them feel desperate. This makes them dare not imagine. If they encountered an enemy of this level, how would they deal with it? All thoughts finally turned into an answer. Wait to die. When encountering an enemy of this level, all they can do is wait to die. As for resistance, it's just a joke. With the strength of Layfon Ensign, it is easy to deal with the White Wolf pirates. Karen clenched his fists, full of confidence in Layfon's strength. His eyes flickered, and he looked at the strange and stagnant pirate ship hundreds of meters away. His brows were tightly frowned, and his face looked a little surprised. All right, the pirate ship actually stalled on its own initiative. Could it be? White Wolf born, a cunning guy, found something wrong. Not too possible. Call. Sha Long let out a heavy breath, staring at Layfon's back. Many thoughts in his mind were spinning wildly. According to common sense, any enemy who sees Layfon for the first time will be contemptuous and relaxed. No one could have imagined that Layfon's young body contained a terrifying level of strength that was infinitely close to that of Vice Admiral. Even if he is as cunning as the White Wolf born, he will never know that Layfon, who is only 7 years old, is so powerful. Prudent, careful as a wolf, observe the detailed situation of the enemy first, and then consider whether to launch an attack, or even how to launch an attack, in order to achieve a better victory. Born the White Wolf, it's no wonder that many colleagues have suffered a lot from him. Soon Chalong understood why the White Wolf pirates stagnated. Cautious. It is precisely because of this prudence that Bone the White Ape was able to live in this sea for so many years. But, unfortunately, today, the White Wolf born has bumped into a terrifying enemy that he never imagined in his dreams. He even offered to deliver it to his door. Visible to the naked eye. Hundreds of Marines and their Karen can see Layfon in action. The samurai sword covered with black armor, in Layfon's right hand, seems to have undergone some kind of huge transformation and sublimation. That moment, the terrifying aura erupting from Layfon's body seemed to be transformed into substance, with an extremely surging sense of oppression, washing over each of their bodies, making them almost paralyzed to the ground with weak legs. Advertisement. This momentum is too majestic. Karen and his hundreds of Marines couldn't bear it, and subconsciously stepped back a few steps, looking at Layfon's back with horror and shock. Under the cover of this momentum, they only feel that they are as fragile as ants. Derived from the stark difference of living species. Let them stand behind Layfon, and they can all feel how small they are. The explosive momentum of Layfon was like surging waves, and the group of Marines standing behind them were like small waves being beaten by the waves. Okay, so scary. The strength of Layfon Ensign is too strong. This is the only thought left in the minds of this group of Marines. The terrifying momentum squeezed the space, and the space was weakly wriggling. The Justice, white coat on Layfon's body, following the explosive airflow, rolled and danced in midair. Holding a samurai sword in his hand, he is full of sharpness. The unique edge and aura that belongs to the swordsman is in full bloom. In addition, a layer of black armed armor is completely wrapped around the blade, and the sharp blade is covered with a layer of indestructible armor. Coldness breathes. The biting coldness caused the temperature of the surrounding air to plummet. It's freezing cold, with the sea breeze blowing. Everyone only felt the biting cold, and a cold air rose from the soles of their feet to the sky, making goosebumps rise all over the Marines present, and their scalps went numb. At the same time, a faint halo was born from the katana in Layfon's hand. Appear out of thin air. Without warning, this dark blue halo is wrapped around the blades of the armed armor, and it is constantly brewing. The aura it emits changes from weak to powerful, and at a terrifying speed, this aura is steadily increasing. It seems that it is fermenting itself. Constant transformation. From a weak breath, it has transformed into a majestic energy. The dark blue halo firmly fixed around the blade, flashing dazzling light, completely filling the vision of the group of Marines behind Layfon. This is slash. Layfon's brewing slash is constantly gathering the strength of his body, all emerging from the right arm wrapped around the blade of the armed armor. The slash is brewing, and the power is rising steadily. It can be clearly seen that the blade covered with armed armor in Layfon's hand has turned into a strange dark blue magic blade. From the beginning, from the ordinary silver samurai sword, to the black blade covered with armor-colored armor, and finally, Layfon gathers endless power to make its edge into a dark blue magic blade. The coldness emanating from the blade became more and more biting and severe. If it wasn't for armament hockey, this knife can't bear the violent power brought by the slash I'm brewing now. The benefits and functions of a famous sword can be displayed in all aspects here. If it is an excellent famous sword, I don't need to use armament hockey at all. It can bear the violent erosion force brought by my slashing. Quote. But ordinary blades don't have such abilities. So, a famous sword is so attractive to a swordsman. Layfon looked at the dark blue adult in his hand, thinking in his heart. This is the difference between famous swords and ordinary samurai swords. Feeling the huge difference between the two at this moment, Layfon had an unprecedented desire for a famous sword in his heart, wanting to get a famous sword of his own urgently. The moment when many thoughts in my mind are suppressed. Layfon's gaze moved away from the blade in his hand, and finally fixed on the pirate ship that was floating quietly on the sea surface and stagnated hundreds of meters away. Majestic power, crazily emerging from his body, was deliberately manipulated by him to gather in the right arm, and extended from the right arm to the samurai sword in the hand full of armed armor. The power and energy gathered on the blade continued to grow, and it experienced Layfon's deliberate compression. The original dark blue bright halo became a bit dim after being condensed, but the aura it emitted became more powerful and terrifying. The color is dimmed, but the power is even more terrifying. Asking for flowers. Also, on the dark blue magic blade, the entangled gas of this terrifying power seemed to give birth to thunder and lightning, flickering and hovering around the blade. The weak blue lightning formed a series of thunder snakes, hovering around the blade very flexibly like a snake, like a group of demons dancing wildly. Advertisement. The samurai sword in Layfon's hand seems to have completely escaped the scope of the samurai sword, and instead turned into a dark blue halo, no longer having any entity. It doesn't look like a katana sword, more like a dark blue light. Yes, Layfon is holding it tightly in his hand. It is no longer a samurai sword, giving people a sense of like a dark blue halo similar to a blade in his hand. Not enough. Layfon really wanted to see the knife that broke out from his own extreme strength. After all, what terrifying destructive power it can possess. And at this very moment, a rare opportunity. Take this group of pirates in front of him as the target of a single strike to try his ultimate strength. The power was fermented crazily by Layfon, and after being compressed, the aura of violent power continuously entangled the blade, and was imprisoned by Layfon in all aspects, so that these powers were tightly close to the blade and could not dissipate by themselves. Click, click, a faint voice sounded from Layfon's ear. Zero. Layfon frowned, and looked towards the source of the voice. In the fence area closer to the edge of the deck, these wooden fences have already shown traces of faint cracks, although subtle, but extremely clear in Layfon's pupils. Has this force affected the surrounding objects? Layfon narrowed his eyes slightly. The dark blue halo he held in his hand, even if the force of the berserk airflow emitted and leaked out, was enough to easily shatter the hull of the warship. Looked up. Layfon looked at the pirate ship hundreds of meters away again. Time. Now. He can feel it. The group of power tightly grasped in his hand has been condensed to ultimate, as if trapped within a limit, unable to brew and settle down any longer. It seems. The limit has been reached. A smile of anticipation crossed Layfon's face. ZZ. Lightning and lightning, entangled in the dark blue halo that Layfon held tightly in his hand. It added a strange color to the samurai sword in his hand, which had already turned into a halo, and exuded a more strange and oppressive aura. Every one of the White Wolf pirates. You guys, are you ready? Layfon looked at the pirate ship ahead with a smile. Then, without hesitation, he pointed the dark blue halo of flashing electric light tightly in his hand at the pirate ship hundreds of meters away in front of him, without any hesitation. Swipe down mercilessly. Moment. The samurai sword turned into a bright halo, and the blade seemed to tear the space apart completely, and the endless violent power erupted without reservation. With this terrifying and berserk force, the space has traces of squeezing and wriggling. Click, click. Even the hulls of the warships that were relatively close, and some wooden fences were directly shattered by the ore leaked by this violent force, cracks like spider webs. At the same time, Shalong standing behind Layfon and hundreds of Marines can all witness it with their own eyes. #BHER. The world-shattering and shocking slash was born. Call out. An incomparably fierce and terrifying slash exploded from the halo in Layfon's hand, and gradually separated from the samurai sword, naturally condensing into an explosive slash. Its power has been fully vented. The endless power gathers from the samurai sword to the tip of the knife, and then releases it fully, turning it into a condensed mass of terrifying slash. This terrifying slash was aiming at the sea area in front of him at this moment. The goal is to all members of the White Wolf Pirates. Advertisement Chapter 208 Fear and Despair of Being Fully Dominated. Open black lens bracket 2/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Bright. Dazzling. Fear. This is the stunning slash released by Layfon, which caused a visual and spiritual impact on hundreds of marine elites including Chalong in the rear. When the slash was released, it rushed to the tip of the knife in an all-round way, and formed a dark blue slash to condense the power. The air here seems to freeze. The atmosphere has become depressing. The extraordinarily majestic oppression squeezed Chalong's body, making their hearts seem to stop beating at any time. The unspeakable sense of oppression made their legs weak, and their bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. Rao is Chalong who has experienced many battles, he has experienced countless life and death. When faced with this terrifying slash released by Layfon, the aura spreads to the body, and he can only feel shuddering. Absolute power, the absolute sense of oppression that erupts, became the root that fully dominates Karen's body. In front of this slash, Chalong and others felt it even more deeply. How small, how humble, fragile, these negative emotions have already filled their hearts and imprinted them deeply in their hearts, so that they will never forget them in this life. Today, they are feeling the breath of this terrifying slash, and when it sweeps their bodies, they feel the smallness, fragility, and humbleness of themselves. This kind of emotion will make them unforgettable in this life. For the first time, they felt it so close. What is power? The slash released by Layfon is absolute power. So, Layfon Ensign, when he killed Kadalu Rear Admiral in one shot, didn't give it his all. Chalong's 897 was full of horror. When faced with the terrifying slash that Layfon is releasing now, Karen can deeply understand it. What is the limit of Layfon's strength? He dare not imagine. Kadalu Rear Admiral was instantly killed at the time, and it was not the result of Layfon's all-out efforts. This is so shockingly mundane. Layfon, who is only 7 years old, did not go all out and beat Kadalu Rear Admiral. So dignified Rear Admiral, so vulnerable. Do not. It can only be said that Layfon Ensign is too strong. This knife is simply indescribable. Its terrifying power seems to be able to destroy the sky and the earth, and destroy everything in the world. Karen looked at Layfon's back, eyes full of awe and admiration. At only 7 years old, he possesses such terrifying strength. Look at the sea, this is the only example. And then turn. Looking at the pirate ship hundreds of meters away, Karen's eyes were full of pity. But when he saw Layfon unleash this unparalleled slash, Jishong was basically certain in his heart. White Wolf Pirates, it's over. How to do it? Destroy a pirate ship at a distance of hundreds of meters. This point, the previous Chalong could not understand. But when he saw the slash released by Layfon, he already understood it in his heart. How to destroy a group of pirates at a distance of hundreds of meters. There is no need for a cumbersome and troublesome process. The whole process, just need one knife. Yes. Layfon only made one knife. But the terrifying slash released made Karen feel it. The White Wolf Pirates are about to face the fate of death. This is the way to destroy a pirate ship hundreds of meters apart. Can't help it. Jaron's eyes were in a trance, recalling what Layfon said just now. Who said, swordsmen can't fight from a distance? Present. Layfon, why don't you explain to them yourself? Swordsmen can also fight from a distance. Moreover, the ability of long-distance combat is quite high. For example, this terrifying slash released by Layfon. Sword Hero, is no longer the exclusive endorsement of close combat. Layfon's immediate action has indeed overturned Sharon's previous perception of a swordsman. The berserk force released by the slashing strikes the space, producing weak creeping traces. That moment, the overwhelming terrifying air currents sweeping in all directions, aimlessly, wandering in all directions, with Layfon's body as the center point, the surrounding objects and people are directly covered and affected. The airflow is like a sharp blade, cutting the surrounding objects. Many wooden fence pillars, as the support of the hull, were torn apart by the airflow with cutting force like a blade, tearing apart cracks and gaps. Click, click. The decks under the feet were cracked with faint traces. With these changes, Jaron escaped to their faces. Advertisement. Let all of them be stunned, with horror on their faces. The violent airflow rolled their clothes, and the marine uniforms many of them wore had some faint cracks cut. Okay, so scary. Is this the true strength of Layfon Ensign? Strong, just like a monster. Hundreds of marines stared at Layfon's back with horror and shock on their faces. Just the aftermath of the airflow is enough to cause such a terrible impact. How powerful does this have to be to do it? Poor thinking limits their imagination. They can only feel it. Layfon, strong, very strong. Somewhat outrageously strong. This knife goes down, I'm afraid it's not. White Wolf Pirates will lead the ship together, and they will not even be able to find Mao at that time. This was the only thought on the minds of all the marines present. Their field of vision was fixed on the halo that bloomed from this terrifying slash. Visible to the naked eye. The moment the slash was released from Layfon's blade, it displayed an extremely terrifying speed, and rushed forward at the pirate ship hundreds of meters away with lightning speed. The dark blue condensed slash is wrapped with a layer of energy gas that flickers like thunder, making the aura emitted by the slashing power even more intense and cold. Right under Layfon's gaze. I see. Slashing, cutting through the sky in an instant. White Wolf Pirates. Deck. There are more than 400 pirates gathered here, and many of them, headed by the Captain White Wolf Born, are still in a state of bewildered and stunned emotions. Marine Ensign under 10 years old. Commander of a warship less than 10 years old. All these news hit their heads dizzy. Rao is as calm and cunning as the White Wolf Bone, his thinking has become a mess, he is in a stunned and sluggish emotional state, and his mood is difficult to recover. He had never heard of such a phenomenon in his life. Marine officer less than 10 years old. Is it possible? When did Marine become such a joke? This is not scientific. No matter how short Marine is, it's impossible to let a kid who is less than 10 years old to take the top, right? Isn't this discrediting Marine? This simply lowers the threshold and lower limit of Marine. Or, Marine is already so short of people. As a last resort, even children under the age of 10 are recruited to act as Marine Ensign. Can't figure it out. Can't explain it either. Including the White Wolf Bone, and all the pirates present, there are more than 400 people in total. Even if they want to scratch their heads, they can't think of a reason. Why did Marine let a kid who was less than 10 years old serve as a Marine officer? Marine Ensign, this is not a low rank for an officer. Such examples. Have to say, it was the first time he witnessed the White Wolf Bone wandering the sea for more than 10 years. There really is a Marine Ensign, a Marine officer, who is less than 10 years old. This is unbelievable. Years of experience could not make White Wolf Bone imagine such a terrifying thing. This is too exaggerated, isn't it? A kid who is less than 10 years old actually served as a Marine officer. Even, as the commander of a warship. Marine, I'm really living more and more. It's so funny all of a sudden. White Wolf Born took a deep breath and suppressed all the thoughts in his head. Turn. A grin appeared on his face. But, then don't blame yourself for being cruel. A Marine officer under the age of 10. How rare. Lousy has never encountered such a thing in his life. Since it is today, let me meet. How can I not see how capable this Marine officer, who is less than 10 years old, is? Unexpectedly, Marine can be so childishly given the rank of ensign. The expression on Bone's face became ferocious. He has murderous intent. Strong killing intent. 10-year-old Marine officer. It must be very cool to kill. I have never encountered such a thing in my life. Since it is so coincidental. Then you have to experience it well, what kind of experience it is to kill a Marine officer who is less than 10 years old. This kind of unimaginable thing is absolutely rare. Advertisement. How capable is a Marine officer who is less than 10 years old? Even if it is really a qualified Marine Ensign to serve as the commander of this warship, Lousy will not be afraid. The Marine Ensign who died in Lousy's hands, how many? Little ones. Ship Lousy, steer this warship near the front. We're about to start killing. Following the order of the White Wolf Bone. The whole pirate ship cheered. A group of pirates looked excited. The helmsman drives the pirate ship and tries to get close to the warship. Remember, that Marine officer who is less than 10 years old, leave this kid to me. Don't kill him, I want to see what kind of experience it is to personally kill a Marine officer who is less than 10 years old. This is my prey, White Wolf Born shouted in a cold voice with a grin on his face. Just ask, how strong can a 10-year-old Marine officer be? Anyway, White Wolf Born would not care about these. He also didn't think that a mere Marine Ensign could threaten his own life. Over the years, he has not encountered Marine Ensign once or twice. Among them, many were killed by him personally. The so-called Marine Ensign in front of him is just a kid who is less than 10 years old. Kill, brothers, go. More than 400 pirates shouted excitedly. They stared at the warship hundreds of meters away. Look, that Marine officer who is less than 10 years old, this brat actually took out his saber. Looking at his posture, is he trying to attack our White Wolf pirates? This is really ridiculous behavior. Have to say. This brat is really daring. Or, this kid, doesn't he know the prestige of our White Wolf pirates? I admire him for his courage to take a knife to our White Wolf pirates. It's a pity that courage, these two will not become their capital against us. Just under this noisy atmosphere, a very abrupt voice sounded from the crowd. Boss, it seems that something is not quite right. Look quickly. The sound was piercing and loud, resounding in everyone's ears. Everyone present can feel it. In this voice, there is a deep wave of fear. What? The grinning expression of the White Wolf Bone restrained, he raised his eyebrows, and glanced impatiently in the direction of the warship in the distance. Then, he saw it. A bright light. From his pupils, keep zooming in. 4.4. A group of bright and dazzling dark blue halos approached from the sea hundreds of meters away. At a terrifying speed, they attacked the pirate ship they were on. Bright, dazzling, almost completely covered the vision of White Wolf Born. How would you describe this halo? The White Wolf Bone spent his entire life, but he couldn't use the words he learned to describe this halo accurately. But he just knows. The moment I saw this halo, he just feels. Everything in the world seems to be dying. Die. Lifeless. The air no longer flows, but freezes directly. The space shrinks, tightly squeezing the body of the White Wolf Born, making him unable to move an inch no matter what. Under the gaze, all that remains is that dark blue condensed halo, wrapped around a layer of electric current that flickers like thunder, exuding a gloomy but icy aura. The sense of majestic and violent imposing oppression. This moment, overwhelming, covering the body of the White Wolf born. Including the pirate ship he was on, there were no less than 400 pirates present, and their bodies had been completely eroded by this terrifying aura. Fear falls. Despair fully dominated the mind and body of their 400 pirates. The grin on White Wolf born's face became stiff. His face was full of horror, his throat was dry, and he stared at the approaching halo, his lips trembling. After swallowing his saliva, Bone the White Wolf couldn't help but blurt it out. This is a slash by a swordsman. Advertisement Chapter 209 What to do. Stand still and die. Open black lens bracket 3/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Cold. The biting coldness pierces the heart. The White Wolf born had goosebumps all over his body, and he felt the creeps. His eyes were dull, and his pupils were full of horror. His facial expression remained the same without any change. From his pupils, visible, an incomparable terrifying slash, the blooming dark blue halo almost completely filled his field of vision, blocking and covering his vision. Slash. This stepping on the horse is actually a slash. The White Wolf born was dumbfounded. His worldview has suffered an unprecedented impact. What the hell? You tell me on horseback. This is actually a slash. Can the slashes released by the sword hero be so terrifying? Anyway, White Wolf Bone never dared to imagine in his life what level of swordsman he must be, could unleash such a destructive slash. Before the slash arrived, Born the White Wolf felt it very deeply. Despair everywhere. Body, unable to move. The space squeezed, making it impossible for him to dodge at all. He could only watch helplessly, as the ever-approaching slash and the blooming radiant halo completely obscured his vision. Fear. Thick fear pierced through my heart. White Wolf Bone has never felt such a strong sense of fear in his life. And this is only because of the 10,000 areas brought about by a slash. The slash never arrived before. The overwhelming aura coercion has completely enveloped the entire pirate ship, and even the White Wolf Born, who is wearing the captain, is also the object of the envelopment. There's nothing wrong. 14 inches. This is the power of slashing. But, what level of swordsman can unleash such a terrifying slash? Why would a swordsman of this level appear in this ghostly place? The always cunning White Wolf Bone couldn't help but let out an unwilling roar in his heart. He couldn't believe it. How could a swordsman of this level be bumped into by such a coincidence? Isn't your luck always good? Why did I bump into such a terrifying swordsman here? When he saw the terrifying power spreading from the slash, Bone the White Wolf could tell in his heart. This must be a slash released by a swordsman, there is no second possibility. He has also fought many swordsmen, some of them are as strong as monsters, which made him flee in a panic. There were also some who were crushed and brutally killed by him with absolute power. But there is no denying it. White Wolf Bone has a relatively good understanding of Janao. Therefore, when he felt this ubiquitous force oppressing him, he could make an accurate judgment immediately. What dominates their entire pirate group is a slash. All it takes is one slash, and their entire pirate group is on the brink of collapse and destruction. Number 56. Just in one thought. The issue is, the White Wolf Bone couldn't predict it even in his dreams, but here he bumped into a swordsman of this level. Do not. Wrong. The White Wolf Bone shook his head fiercely, his pupils were full of fear. Slash. Where did it come from? From a warship. This is impossible. Isn't the commander of the Brain Speed warship a kid less than 1 year old? Even this kid can be a commander, which shows that the overall strength of this warship is nothing more than that. Then, which swordsman released the slash? How could a swordsman who could unleash such terrifying slashes condescend to be this kid's subordinate? This unscientific. Impossible. The White Wolf Bone held many incomprehensible thoughts, his pupils stared fixedly at the dilated halo of the pupils. Before the slash arrived, it completely sealed off the direction from which all of them could escape. Escape. How to escape? Advertisement. Under such a terrifying slash, how wide is the range? Within a few hundred meters, almost all belong to the range of being slashed. How does this allow them to escape? This is not a slash against a certain person, but a slash against the entire ship. Where can I escape? This is a desperate situation. The desperate situation enveloping the entire White Wolf pirates. Old boss, how to do? A group of pirates trembled and looked at the White Wolf Born with fear on their faces. Crowd panic. The entire White Wolf pirates were in panic at this moment. Faced with such a terrifying slash, all of them felt deep fear from the bottom of their hearts, fully dominating their bodies. How to do? White Wolf Born's lips trembled, his expression full of fear. He couldn't help roaring in his heart. If I knew what to do, wouldn't I be so scared? This force almost enveloped the entire pirate ship. Thereby, not only the White Wolf Bone, but all the pirates on the entire ship were in a state of despair and fear, and their expressions were full of horror and froze in place. It's not that they don't want to move, it's that they can't move. The surrounding space seemed to be severely squeezed. As a result, their bodies were firmly imprisoned in place. The only thing they can do is. The pupils of his eyes widened, and he stared intently at the terrifying slashes that continued to strike. The blooming radiant halo almost filled their entire field of vision. In their eyes, they can only see this slash, but cannot see the second object. Slash, where did it come from? While the White Wolf Born was terrified, he still couldn't understand. Even in the face of desperation and fear, he still wants to know urgently. In the end, which top swordsman from the sea is here? A slash of such terrifying power must be a great swordsman with penultimate swordsmanship. In the first half of the Grand Line, when did such a terrifying swordsman appear? And yourself, don't you know? Also, why did the other party appear in this ghostly place by such a coincidence? And launch an attack on their White Wolf pirates? Many questions and perplexities lingered in the mind of Bone the White Wolf, which made him puzzled, and he still couldn't think of an accurate answer. Such a terrifying slash means. The swordsman who released this slash has a very high level of swordsmanship. If not, how could such a terrifying slashing power erupt? At the same time, bring them back such endless fear and despair. It's over, it's over. Boss, think of a way. A group of pirates who were not willing to sit still looked at the White Wolf Bone with hopeful eyes and longing for survival. The only way they could think of it is to rely on the White Wolf Bone to get out of danger. After all, in the past, when they faced desperation, it was Bone the White Wolf who survived the desperation and led them all to escape. At this time, the only thing they can count on is the White Wolf Bone. As the captain of the White Wolf Pirates, Bone carries all their hopes of survival. They don't want to die. But in the face of this slash, they appeared extremely powerless and fragile. They have no way to try to block this terrifying slash. We can only count on the White Wolf Bone. As always. Let Bone, the White Wolf, lead them to survive from desperation. At this time, facing many eyes full of hope and desire. White Wolf Born's face was pale and bloodless, his eyes and pupils were full of fear, and he kept roaring in his heart. Advertisement. If I knew what to do, I would have done it. The key is, I don't know what to do either. Come and tell me, what should I do? What methods and means should I use to counteract this terrifying slash? In front of this slash, I can't even count as an ant. You guys, how do you want me to block such a terrible slash? Are you kidding me? What can I do? Wait to die. Despair. A deep sense of despair lingers in the heart of Bone the White Wolf, filling his heart. If he knew what to do, he wouldn't be so desperate. Him at the moment, not only was he shrouded in despair, but his body and mind were also fully dominated by fear. Facing such a terrifying slash, Bone the White Wolf felt that he was like a drop of water facing the boundless Wang Sea. How to resist? Can't stop it. Levels are completely different. His strength, when faced with this kind of power, seemed extraordinarily fragile and weak. The prestige of the White Wolf Bone is only enough to deter some of the weaker pirates and marines in the Grand Line, and that's all. But when faced with a powerhouse of this level, White Wolf Born. This is a joke. A group of pirates howled bitterly. Stop shouting. How to do? You ask me what to do. I'll tell you what to do. Stand and wait to die. Is the only thing we can do. Quote. The White Wolf Bone gritted his teeth, his expression was terrified and full of unwillingness. Of course he doesn't want to die if he can. But helpless. Can't stop it. There is no possibility of blocking. Following the words of the White Wolf Bone just fell. The more than 400 pirates were all dumbfounded. Their eyes were wide and round, and they looked at their figure, the great White Wolf Born, with fear on their faces. They can't think of it. They always thought that the omnipotent boss, the White Wolf Born. This moment, to say it so frighteningly, to make them wait to die. Is there nothing the boss can do? We can only wait to die. As strong as the boss, there is nothing you can do. Unprecedented fear quickly filled the bodies and minds of more than 400 people. They see it for the first time. Even their boss, the White Wolf Bone, would reveal such a sense of despair and powerlessness. They are the White Wolf Pirates. Unexpectedly, didn't even see the face of the enemy. Then it will be wiped out. If they hadn't experienced it personally, they certainly wouldn't dare to imagine such a terrifying thing. The key is, where is the enemy? Who is the enemy? Which top swordsman released the slash? Which top swordsman did they offend? All of this, they are unaware of. It makes them feel like confused, they are fully dominated by fear and despair. Inexplicably, they are facing the fate of being wiped out and subverted. Even, they never saw it. Who the hell released this terrifying slash? Advertisement Chapter 210 You Marine defined this monster as an ensign. Open black lens bracket 4/6 for customization close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Who is it? Who the hell? In the first half of the Grand Line, how could there be such a level of swordsman? Is it the monster Hawkeye? Do not. A few days ago, news about Hawkeye's appearance in East Blue just spread. It is impossible for him to come to the waters around the Grand Line so soon, so, it can't be Hawkeye. But who else could it be except Hawkeye? As the captain of the White Wolf Pirates, White Wolf Born's mind is spinning crazily at the moment. But racking his brains, he couldn't think of an accurate answer. In the first half of the Grand Line, the number of sword masters with penultimate sword skills is not too many. It stands to reason. If such a terrifying swordsman really appeared here, there is no reason why he, White Wolf Born, could not be aware of it. His information network has always been very old and well informed. Officially so. Relying on well-informed news and intelligence, he has saved himself from danger many times. This information was the key to helping him escape the siege and arrest of Marine Vice Admiral in the past. It can be said that it is very important to White Wolf Born. However, his news intelligence, but never made it clear. In this sea area, such a top-notch swordsman unexpectedly appeared. Prior to this, he had not received any news at all. This swordsman, the skimmer looks like, appeared out of thin air. Slash, Getting closer. Exuding majestic power, the body of the ruler White Wolf born. Faced with this slash, all the luck left in Bone's heart by the White Wolf was completely crushed, so that besides fear, there was deep despair in his heart. In the face of absolute power. The so-called conspiracy. So-called cunning. These have all become meaningless. All shredded with ease, with ease. Conspiracy. No use. This moment, the White Wolf born also felt it. In the face of absolutely overwhelming power, all his advantages will cease to exist and will be reduced to nothing. My luck is too bad. Here, I bumped into a great swordsman with such penultimate sword skills. The White Wolf bone gritted his teeth, his expression full of unwillingness. His eyes, trying to see through this radiant and terrifying slash, looked at the root of the slash. Even if you die, he also wanted to take a look. Who the hell is this swordsman? To die is to die in peace. At least you must know who killed their White Wolf pirates. Think of me, the White Wolf bone, who has escaped Marine siege and capture many times. I have also killed many Marines, but it is unpredictable in the end, and I will die in the hands of a swordsman. White Wolf born was full of aggrieved feelings. He admitted that he died at the hands of Marine. But dying at the hands of a swordsman who didn't even know his true face, this made him unbearable. At least, let me know who it is. Dead, and dead clearly. The White Wolf bone completely cut off the chance of being able to escape from the dead. In front of such a terrifying slash, how to escape from death? Impossible. The luck remaining in my heart, as this slash continued to approach, the terrifying and surging coercion emanating swept across the body, and let the White Wolf born completely crush all these lucks. This slash, from the front, he crushed all the flukes in Sun Wolf born's heart to right confidence. Deeply understand, all his past cunning, insidiousness, etc., are just a joke. Everything, when faced with absolute strength, will appear extraordinarily fragile and vulnerable. Only strength is the foundation of the survival of the sea. Bone, the White Wolf, came to his senses. But it's too late. He gritted his teeth, his eyes were filled with deep fear, his pupils were covered with bloodshot eyes, and he was staring at the bright halo of slashing that filled his vision. Then, the White Wolf born was in a trance, and seemed to see it vaguely. Through the dark blue halo of this terrifying slash, he caught the figure of Root. Unleash this slashing swordsman. Who is it? Advertisement. With many doubts in his heart, the White Wolf bone stared at the figure with his pupils wide open. To die is to die clearly. Otherwise, you will die with peace. He obviously didn't receive any news. Which top swordsman will appear in this sea area? No, there is absolutely no news of this kind. So here comes the problem. Who released this terrifying slash? Who is the newly born swordsman? At the same time, the sight of the White Wolf born seemed to penetrate the halo released by the dazzling and jumping slash. Finally, the one who made the White Wolf bone get his wish was to see the initiator of this slash. That one is located hundreds of meters away from the warship. At this moment, at the front of the warship deck, the young figure holding a samurai sword appeared very clearly in the sight of White Wolf born. It seems to have a feeling. The young figure holding a samurai sword, wearing a Justice Marine coat, fluttered slightly with the sea breeze, and then cast a pair of eyes full of playful expressions. Then, eyes on each other. That moment, White Wolf bone just felt that his whole body was about to explode. Scalp tingling. Creepy. Shudder. A bone-piercing cold air rose from the soles of the feet to the top of the sky, sweeping the whole body. Cold. The heart-piercing coldness made White Wolf bone feel unnatural all over his body, with goosebumps all over the surface of his skin. Fear. Shock. Thriller. Many emotional turmoil poured into his heart in an all-round way, like surging waves after another, rushing towards his body overwhelmingly. The whole body seemed to have fallen into a freezer. The biting cold air from all directions swept across the whole body. Cold, shivering from the cold, cold into the heart, the meaning of fear is infinitely magnified. Am I wrong? White Wolf born's lips trembled, and he opened his mouth with a look of horror. He can't believe it. The scene I'm currently seeing. Hallucination. This must be hallucination. What did I see? The White Wolf bone was in a frenzied mood, like a storm that could not be calmed down. He was dumbfounded. Question mark exclamation mark. Release the source of this slash. The top swordsman who I always thought was penultimate in swordsmanship. The other party turned out to be that kid on the warship who was less than 10 years old. A Marine ensign under 10 years old. Warship commander. And many more. This must be a mistake, right? I must have hallucinated. Or, it was a dream in itself, a gigantic dream. A kid less than 10 years old. Unexpectedly, it was the source of this terrifying slash. That top-notch swordsman is this kid who is less than 7 years old. What are you kidding? How could this little ghost, He Nang, be the top swordsman of penultimate? How could such a terrifying slash come from the hand of this brat? This is completely unreasonable, seriously subverted cognition. Hallucinations. Do not. This horse riding is not an illusion. Advertisement. The White Wolf bone stared closely at the young figure who was hundreds of meters away. He was stunned. He felt that the world view that he had built up with great difficulty in this life, along with the scene he saw today and at this moment, was about to collapse inch by inch. For sure. Not hallucinations. It's not a dream either. All of this happened for real. It's just that the development of this matter has seriously exceeded the psychological endurance of the White Wolf bone. Things that he never dared to imagine in his life happened abruptly in front of his eyes at this moment. A kid who was less than 10 years old unexpectedly released a terrifying slash that was enough to destroy their entire White Wolf pirates. How could a little ghost possess such terrifying strength? It is impossible to start practicing in the womb, right? What kind of terrifying swordsmanship accomplishments are needed to release such a slash full of destructive power? Just ask, how could a child less than 10 years old have such unbelievable penultimate sword skills? All of these are things that White Wolf Bone will never be able to figure out. In the end, what kind of monster did I encounter? A person who possesses such a terrifying level of swordsmanship is actually a kid who is less than 10 years old. Do not. I can't believe it. The world view of White Wolf Born has completely collapsed. He can't imagine. A child less than 10 years old actually has such unimaginable and terrifying swordsmanship attainments. This strongly overturned his cognition. Ensign. Is this the strength level of Marine Ensign? This is seriously over the line. In the past, he didn't fight Marine once or twice, and he also personally slashed several ensigns. But no one can possess such terrifying strength. This strength is by no means Ensign. It is also impossible for Marine Ensign to control such a terrifying level of strength. Tear. Their White Wolf pirates were completely wiped out by Marine many years ago. But no, you Marine, a terrifying monster with this level of strength is defined as an ensign. You guys are playing with me. If you don't play me to death, you won't be at ease, right? White Wolf Born was full of desperate thoughts. You Marines are too insidious. A terrifying swordsman of this level is actually just an ensign. Nuo Li Jiao. Do you think I have never touched ensign? How can the strength of Marine ensign be so powerful? This is very unscientific. White Wolf Born finally understood. Why is this kid who is less than 10 years old able to serve as a Marine ensign? Why, this kid can still serve as the commander of this warship? All questions and puzzles. All of this will be fully revealed. White Wolf Born figured it out. This brat is the real monster. A top swordsman who is less than 10 years old. I can finally understand. Why did Marine give a kid less than 10 years old the official title of Marine Ensign? Emotion. This kid who is less than 10 years old, his strength, his swordsmanship, can be so powerful. Ensign. This is an existence that is as good as Vice Admiral. In this sea, there is actually such a terrifying monster that subverts cognition. White Wolf Born's mentality immediately collapsed. Even today, let me meet you. The most ridiculous thing is that I encountered such a terrifying monster. I'm on a horse, but I'm still foolishly dispatching a pirate ship, wanting to take the initiative to attack this monster. Where did I get the guts and courage? I finally realized it deeply. What is called suicide? Advertisement.